From the station that's on your side, you're watching News 19 at 7.
The Brett Parker double murder trial is now in the hands of the jury. Good evening and thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Andrea Mock. The prosecution and defense are left to wait as the jury works to decide the fate of Brett Parker. The judge charged those jurors earlier this afternoon, and News 19's J.R. Berry is live now at the Richland County Courthouse this evening as we are waiting to find out if a decision will come tonight. J.R.
Andrew, we don't know if that decision is going to come tonight. This was a 13-day-long trial, lots of testimony in this, lots of information for those jurors to ingest. We're outside courtroom 2A, where right now the jury is back in the courtroom asking questions. They want to rehear some testimony. Dakari Turner has been covering this trial for several days for us now. Dakari, what do the jurors want to know right now?
Well, JR, they came back in and apparently they wanted to hear testimony from Lieutenant Odom of the Richland County Sheriff's Department and Deputy Joseph Ryan. Both of them were the first on the scene. Right now they're listening to the testimony via audio tape. Joseph Ryan, as I said, he was the first one on the scene. He encountered Brett Parker in the driveway. He was the first to put him in handcuffs and read him his rights. And Lieutenant Odom is the one who went through the house systematically clearing the house upon arrival.
So the jurors are rehearing this testimony now, and this testimony could take a little while longer, right?
It could, yeah. In fact, yes.
All right, Dakari, thank you. You were there for the closing arguments today. They lasted, what, about 3 hours?
I'd say so, JR, about 3 hours. Literally, they went through rehashing all evidence that has been brought up in the case. Yeah. Assistant Prosecutor Luck Campbell spoke to jurors for about an hour and a half doing just that. Well, the defense, of course, is maintaining in this case all along that this was self-defense, that Brett Parker came in and killed Brian Kapnahurst after they claimed Kapnahurst shot and killed Tammy Parker. But the prosecution in their closing arguments today basically telling jurors that Brett Parker was going to make sure he was the only one alive leaving that house.
Executing someone point blank as you stand over them and shooting them in the face ensures one thing, that he's the only one that comes out of this alive. And that was the second thing he had to make sure happened. After he killed Tammy, once Kapnahurst showed up, he just had to make sure that there was no way he could survive.
Did he tell them where all his money was? I'm a bookie, I have affairs and all that, because he didn't run up to them and tell them all this. He's a liar. And folks, he misrepresented facts to them. There ain't no question about that. But what did he tell them that was true? What happened? He told them the truth. It all fits if you look at the evidence.
Again, those are from closing statements earlier today. Now, there have been several moments in this double murder trial that have stood out. Right out of the gate, Jack Parker, the father of the defendant, was kicked out of the courtroom and wasn't going to be allowed back in unless he testified. Allegations that he made some sort of contact with some jury members there. Of course, Brett Parker being taken to the hospital. His family says it was a panic attack. However, in closing arguments today, Prosecutor Luck Campbell says when they got Parker to the hospital, nothing was wrong with him. Then there was the testimony of Sheriff Leon Lott, who actually has known Jack Parker for quite a while. He testified that he met Brett Parker at least 5 times at the defendant's home before the defendant finally turned himself in, with the sheriff saying to Parker every time that the evidence just didn't match up with what Brett Parker was saying. So a standout moment there. Also, Brett Parker taking the stand in his own defense. That was also very compelling. He never wavered, and he told everything as a matter of fact, so to say, like the events that unfolded that day. At least that's the way it came across to people who were in the courtroom. Of course, the prosecution says all of this was over money, the motive, insurance money to pay off gambling debts. The jury, Andrea, still in there right now rehearing this testimony. We have no idea how long they're going to deliberate tonight or if a decision will be made. Back to you.
All right, we will be waiting on that answer. Thank you so much, JR.